Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. I am going to talk to you about how the elite are literally laughing at you right now. This isn't a joke, and I want to wake people up, and I'm going to use what Bernanke right now is saying. He's the former Federal Reserve chairman, and just so you know, he was 100% wrong back then, and now all of a sudden he's coming out with a book to try and sell you to show you how great he was. It's all a ruse. And even like last week, he's out blaming the current Federal Reserve chairman, saying, you guys really should have gotten on top of inflation sooner. Anybody that believes this, I'm going to say is an idiot, but it's not true. There's a lot of misinformed people out there, and I want to bring you into realization of the plan to hurt you. And I'm not joking, financially. Put you into a state of fear to where you need to run down and use credit cards. And we're going to talk about inflation right now, what he just announced. You need to run out and get credit cards now just to keep up with the cost of milk and gasoline and just food, all right? Staples, emergency things. I can't be more serious about this. We're going to go over this story. I'm going to link it below. And also, I want to stop right now and say, I'm going to put a description. I've only done this a couple times. I have a podcast because we upload the YouTube videos to the podcast, but I also put out podcasts that are very serious, very timely, and very edgy. Let's put it that way, because I can't talk about just everything. And I'm going to put one about how you are going to be, there's a plan to make you extremely fearful and essentially turn you into a slave in the next 6 months, okay? And I've put this video, it's about preparing now and what you can do and why you need to do it right now. And I put this link in the description. I would encourage you to go take a look at it. If it resonates with you, hit the thumbs up button on that, share the link out, and subscribe to that podcast, whatever method you use, because it goes out to everybody. And because these are very, very serious times. All right, so let's talk about Federal Reserve Bernanke, the guy that's coming out with a book right now. So all of a sudden you're seeing him in the news, okay? Just want to get that out there. Oh, and let me touch really quick. Fed Governor Bullard comes out last week and he said there will be no recession in 2022. Or I think he even said 2023, I don't remember. Don't quote me on that, but the point being is, good. You know what? These guys are wrong all the time. And I want to remind you, the guy we're about to speak about, Mr. Brainiac here, he came out in 2006 and in 2005, and he says, I do not believe that a housing crisis exists, and I do not believe there will be one. We have stemmed the tide when it comes to, and I'm paraphrasing, to the mortgage-backed security fiasco. That was in 2005. Like, think about that. Homeboy was 100% wrong, or home chicken, whatever you want to call him. And I could guarantee you nothing in the book that he's going to try and sell you is talking about how he was wrong. Because he was. He even said on CNBC to Maria Bartiromo, I don't really agree with your premise that there's a housing bubble, because even if there was, it's impossible for home prices to fall all at the same time across the country. And you know what's crazy? People forgot about that. Because I lived it. I was a real estate investor selling everything I had in 2005, 2006, screaming at the TV at people like Bernanke or Jim Cramer saying, dude, these are the times to buy. Lehman Brothers is on sale. You're crazy if you don't buy it. Or what about that guy that does all that get out of debt stuff? He's put the name of him in the thing. You know, he was wrong in 2001, right? Or 99 when he was selling you all kinds of stuff. We had, mutual funds and all these things. Doesn't want you to buy gold or anything like that, even though gold has outpaced most indices. Silver's blown them away on a percentage basis since 1999, right? But hey, buy our prepackaged financial instruments. Oh yeah, they're down now. Well, buy the dip, or you're buying it cheaper. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me. Nobody believes these guys. Dave something. Remind me what he said. But they were wrong. He was also wrong right before the 2008 financial crash, right? The Great Recession. The point being is that nobody remembers, but also because they weren't invested like a lot of us. I was deeply invested. I still am, right, in certain sectors. But these people are laughing at you and they sell books about being right. But in all reality, they're wrong. And they were wrong at the cost of everybody's homes or mortgages, their livelihood. But hey, they didn't lose a house, just so you know. That's how it works. All right, so here we go. We're finally getting into the story. And I hope this woke people up. And if you guys are still here right now, please hashtag Bernanke and hashtag inflation right next to it. Let's get this out there. Now I know how far you guys have made it. It says right here, in Fed's inflation fight, what the? Ninja, you are in the wrong story. Let's get this straight. Man, I'm going to link the right story below. Former Fed Chair Ben Bernanke says inflation today isn't anywhere near 1970s price spikes. Well, isn't that sweet? Well, hey, let me throw this out there, old Bernanke. Inflation in the late 70s. So first off, it started in the early 70s when Nixon took us off the gold standard. Read about that if you guys know about it. It's really interesting. Inflation started 2004, and then a little bit of a dip. I'm sorry, 2004, 1974. Come on, ninja. We were what were we wearing back then? Not bell bottoms. I don't remember what we were wearing. I wasn't even born then. 74, I was like, wasn't even a thought in my parents' minds. 74, inflation comes up, then it dips down a little bit, but then get ready. The ninja was born, 76. Woo, how many people were born? Hashtag what year you were born in this video. That'd be awesome. I want to see everybody's age. I get really excited, no matter what age you guys are. I just love seeing people from every ethnic group, every, part of the world. I don't care who you are, what sex you are, how old you are. I just get excited that everybody's watching this stuff. So anyway, sorry, going back. 1974, inflation came down. Oh, we're good. No. It was still elevated as compared to 1971, so we weren't on a gold standard anymore. And then we started to cruise. It's like, hey guys, we're ready for takeoff. We're doing good. 76 going up, 78, ninjas in diapers still. I was a late bloomer. It's 79, we're going good. Then we're getting into 1980. Whoo! Then the Federal Reserve's like, we should do something about this. Let's spike rates. Paul Volcker did it, right? Hailed as a hero. Unless you were a homeowner back then and interest rates spiked so high, you had to take some concessions on your real estate price. But hey, let's forget about that stuff. So now we're spiking, right? There was a lot of pain that went on. Then we saw a downturn. Now, right now, there's flies everywhere. Ninja needs to take a bath. There are headlines all over the place right now that, this started back in September when I was talking about, hey, inflation's about to start to really rage now. And it's getting up, and you'd see headlines like, we haven't seen inflation like this since 1986. Then like a month later, we haven't seen inflation like this since 1985. Now we haven't seen inflation like this since 1983. And it's almost like we're going back in time and we're going back up the down slope of the roller coaster, right? What was the crash in inflation because of interest rates spiking in 1980, 81, right? 82, just crashing down. We're going back up in reverse of the roller coaster. I want you to realize that. And all Ben Bernanke is doing, I don't even got to read the story. I'll leave that for you guys. All we got to do is remember, we're going higher from here. I hear a lot of times people talk about and they go, well, how's your silver and Bitcoin doing? I'm like, well, it's up like a lot. Like, I don't know what are you thinking? I told you I bought it at like 14 bucks for silver. And well, my first Bitcoin is 500 bucks. But when I sold my house in 2018, I was buying Bitcoin from between 3,200 and 76. Or my Digibyte, I was buying it. I don't even know what that fraction was. There was a decimal and a bunch of zeros, right? And people that, looked at, silver couple months ago, it was like 26 bucks or 25 bucks. Don't quote me on that. And they go, look at it now, it's 22 or 21. You're like, okay. Like, are you that small-minded that all you can do is think about like a 3-month block of time or a 6-month block of time? Be like an elitist. Elitist, they think years out. That's why Warren Buffett was buying train stocks, railroad stocks, when it was collapsing and everyone was laughing. I'm like, are you dumb, Warren? Like, do you not see we're in the Great Recession and there's no more shipping? And he's like, I'm sure he's quietly thinking, no, you're an idiot. Like, yeah, it's a fire sale because it's gonna come back. And gold is doing very well right now. Gold's doing great. I mean, if you look at it since this whole thing started in 2019, go back and look at the gold price. Put it in the comment section, guys. How's gold done on a percentage basis? Has it beat the CPI? We all know it's beat CPI on an inflation basis, right? Since then, yes, it has. Has it beat a lot of other inflation metrics? It actually has. So think a little farther out. And if you haven't bought any precious metals, I would dare tell you this, and this isn't financial advice, this is life advice, is if you can't afford $2.50, you got really big problems, and we got to really address those, all right? Like, get out of debt, pay down debt, stop trying to impress people that you don't even respect. Who cares about how cool you look on Facebook or what car you're driving, right? Those are bigger problems. But go down and take $2.50 right now, and you should be able to go to a pawn store or a coin shop and buy one silver dime. A dime that has 90% silver in it, right? Start there. If you got more money, cool, and you want to invest in it, cool. Can silver and gold go down tomorrow? Yes, it can. Is it manipulated? Heck yeah, it is. But I'm looking at the longer term. It was like rhodium. Most people here probably don't even know what rhodium is. But rhodium is actually made into coins, very rare, but it is a metal that is crucial in many manufacturing processes, like the need to mix rhodium with platinum or palladium for catalytic converters, right? It went from like, it was in the hundreds of dollars in 2019, and it went, I think it topped like $28,000 an ounce in 2020 or 2021. Did it affect any of you? Nope. Did it affect the people that owned it? Yes. They were like, cha-ching. I didn't have any. I wish I would have. I thought about buying some coins too, and I didn't. Point being is this. Right now, they're laughing at you. He's like, look, there's no problem here. Inflation's nowhere near it was during the 1970s spike. But I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you a little bit of the future. 6 months from now, inflation's going to be worse. Because what they didn't have, so first off, we know it's going up because they are making the same mistakes they did in the 70s. But on top of that, they are printing an exorbitant amount of money. You can't even comprehend the amount of money. You've seen those graphics where you take a dollar bill and you stack them on top of each other and go, hey, $1 trillion. Well, it's from like here to the moon. And you can't even comprehend that. It's just like, what? Like, it's insanity, right? I might have that graphic totally wrong. It's been a long time since I've seen it. Point being is that it is going to get much, much worse. Because in the 70s, guess what? They didn't have a worldwide and, you know, having to cover yourself up and shutting down of economies and telling you what you're allowed to, where you're allowed to go, when you're allowed to do it. They also didn't have, you know, in the 70s, well, no, they did, but I mean, they didn't have geopolitical threats like now, right? Like where multiple countries are ready to fire off on each other. Some already are. You didn't have propaganda at a level where we're at now in the 70s, okay? So to say that it's worse today than yesterday, yes, it is. And I don't care if you look at the CPI and you believe the lying government numbers because they changed the metrics. They changed the rules of how they report things to you and in what form it comes, right? We are not out of the woods. It is going to get worse. Should you look into inflation hedges? Well, I don't know. Wealthy people do it. Wealthy people own a certain percentage of their net worth in gold. Okay. So how did I get rich? Well, I did what wealthy people did. That's all I got to do. I just got to like, hey, I want to be rich and you're rich. So I'm just going to go do what you do. And hey, you've got a really good home life. Your children are happy and you've raised great children. Can you show me how to do that same thing? And I'm just going to do what you do. Oh, hey, how about, well, I should really do this. Hey, you're in really good shape. You look good. I should do that. Still haven't gotten there yet. I'm trying. But my point being is that's all we've got to do, guys. And I just want to be real with you. This is very, very serious stuff. Now, I'm going to close on this. I think this is let's just take a little bit of wisdom, pearls of wisdom from Bernanke. Because come on, the guy wrote a book. He's got to sell it. Inflation is near 4-decade high, with the price of everyday goods, including cars, rent, food, gasoline, healthcare, soaring over the past year. Let me add a couple things to that real quick. The highest student debt in history, the highest margin debt in history for stocks, and let's add one more thing. The highest credit card debt. All right, so let's just add those. Let's throw those in there because that means people can't afford to live. It says, but as unwelcome as rising prices are for Americans, inflation today is still a long haul away from that of the 1970s. Man, I hope you feel good on that. Let's close with that because, hey, they're telling you right there, the media, it could be worse. Well, guess what? The Economic Ninja is telling you it is going to be worse. Get ready, guys. I've got links to gold and silver, places that I've done business with. I've been invested in gold and silver since 2010. And have I regretted it once? Not once. Anytime you could take some wealth and store it away for a rainy day, stop looking at the daily price fluctuations and buy on fundamentals, that's what I do. I can't sugarcoat this stuff enough. And again, guys, I'm putting the link in the pinned comment section below about this very serious food crisis that's coming and what they want to do and what their plans are for you literally in the next 6 months. This is no joke. Please take a look at that. Hit the subscribe button on the podcast. Share the podcast out. We need to get the voice out, guys. Truth is going to come out. It is going to break free. And every single one of you, my amazing subscribers, parts of Ninja Nation, these other YouTube channels that are hashtagging Ninja Nation, because it's not about me. It is about you and your ability and desire to change your situation and the world. That's what Ninja Nation's all about. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. The Economic Ninja is out.